the issue was revision, and once you have revised it well, how are you going to utilize it? For that you need to do a lot of tests. And one issue that arose last year was that, because it was probably my first attempt at UPSC, I failed to realize the importance of test series. And so I realized that once you take a test series, you can revise that same notes, I think 10 times, even I think not 10 times, but at least 4 or 5 times, and that would be more than sufficient for you to be able to generate enough command over the subject so that you are able to score easily above 135. So notes revision, I had revised it by at least 5-6 times only because of test series, and I had written down 10 tests. I think on the whole, while preparing for UPSC 2021, I have given around 26 to 28 full length tests, out of which 10 tests was solely devoted to geography, because I had focused mainly on geography as an optional, because I realized the high scoring potential of the subject, because we've seen so many people in the past have scored such good marks in geography. It's just that this general perception that has been created among certain people that geography is really not high scoring, I think it's not true to a great extent. Okay, so the first thing that we did was to make notes, and which I had already done in the past. The thing was to revise. And how did I revise it? You revise it by focusing your preparation around test series. And the second thing would be doing as many tests as possible. Doing as many tests as possible. I wrote around 10 tests, and out of which 5 were paper 1 and 5 were paper 2, out of which 4 were sectional and 1 was full length. Now I focused more on the sectional aspect because I wanted to improve certain specific areas. For example, in geography paper 1, I focused more on geomorphology aspect, and in paper 2 paper 2 I focused more on contemporary issues, because they're usually very current based and gives you the scope, gives you ample opportunity to write different kind of content. Okay, the second thing would be integrating current affairs. And how do you do that? You integrate current affairs through the use of examples, and paper 2 gives you an opportunity to integrate current affairs through the use of case studies. So an example of case study that I can give is that there was a question in paper 2 Indian geography. I think it was about critically analyze the economical and environmental issues of interlinking of rivers, and I gave a very specific case study of Ken-Betwa river link project, and I mentioned there Dodhan Dam, Or Dam. I had even mentioned certain specific cities like Chhatarpur, Khajuraho, Rewa, and for that matter in case studies and also talked about Panna Tiger Reserve. So the more regional, and again the third aspect would be, the fourth aspect would be regional maps, regional aspect and maps. And I think this is one of the most important area that I think every aspirant who is coming from geography optional background needs to focus on, regional aspect. Now when we talk about regional aspect, I think it would be better to explain it with the help of an example. I think there was a question in paper 2 Indian geography, discuss the distribution and production of different varieties of coal in India. So I remember that, you know, once you are answering this question, a diagram becomes most important, because until unless you are using diagrams, you won't be able to show in which part of India you will be finding different types of coal. So for example, when I was talking about let's say Gondwana type of coal, I did not simply drew the diagram of India like this. Now this is a kind of diagram that you would draw in a GS paper. For answering questions in optional, for example, as part of regional diagram making, the focus should be on, for example, if you're talking about the Gondwana coal, one of the states where Gondwana coal is found is Jharkhand. So you draw a diagram of Jharkhand, a very rough diagram of Jharkhand like this. And for example, and then you talk about certain coal fields in Jharkhand. And then, for example, when you're talking about, let's say, Chhattisgarh, then you draw a diagram something like this, and you talk about that what are the coal fields in Jharkhand. Or, for example, when you're talking about, let's say, lignite coal, which is found in Neyveli, then you draw a diagram something like this, and then you show that there is a city called Lignite here, okay, Neyveli here. And for example, when you are mentioning a place like Umarsar, which is found in Gujarat, then you draw a diagram of Gujarat like this, and then you show a place that this is Umarsar. So now this will bring regional aspect to your diagram, and then you will be able to portray in greater depth and detail as to what you know about that issue, and you will be able to convey your point of view to the examiner or somebody who is checking your question paper more effectively.